Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's Saul K here. I am an internationally touring Jewish music artist, Shliach Tzibor, and the host of the Holy Sparks podcast. And for most of my life, I have stayed away from anything political or overtly this or that about Israel or anti-Semitism because I was staying in the lane of music. But I can no longer be silent, and I definitely want to share some information here. So if you're connected to my networks, maybe you're Jewish, maybe you're not Jewish, this will reveal some information that is widely available online. But of course, every news outlet that you listen to has their own story, has their own slant, and has their own incentive and funding as well. So you always want to do your due diligence and your research. And I can say I've done well over 100 hours of research in the last 3 weeks alone, and much more than that over the last 6 months. Really, I started preparing to go to Israel and learning more about the history and the culture and everything that's led up to now when we went over the summer. So I want to share about 10 minutes of information. This will be part of an ongoing video series that I want to do to just spread better information because there has been a media campaign for the last 20 to 30 years to sway your mind in a certain direction. And I want to provide some facts and some questions for you to consider. And hopefully this will help create better dialogue, create better education, and will combat the massive wave of anti-Semitism that has been unleashed in this country and around the world. Okay, so let me start with some facts. These are some slides that I just shared on Facebook and Instagram recently, but I'll go through them slowly. This will take a few minutes, and I want to share a short video, and then I'll leave you with some things to think about at the end. Okay, so thank you for watching. First of all, this is definitely very important to me, very near and dear to my heart, and I hope that it will help you as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So let's start with a little bit of history. You may or may not know some of these facts. Okay, you can see my screen. A little bit of the history of when Israel was declared a state. In 1947, the UN partition plan proposed dividing the British mandate into two independent states, a Jewish state and an Arab state. Israel said yes to that. Okay, being very clear here, Israel said yes to a two-state solution in 47, before the creation of Israel proper in 1948. The Arabs said no. Not only just one country, all of them, and a war broke out between the newly born state of Israel against 7 Arab armies. It took 2 years, but we won. Side note, Gaza was not part of Israel. It was under Egyptian rule. Okay, that's point number one. But hold on, I'm going to pause there. Why did they say no? Okay, this is a very important point. Okay, this is not about the land of Israel. This is a battle of values. Okay, Western values versus Sharia law versus what the intent of Hamas is and these terrorist organizations is to destroy the Jewish people. And I'll share this with you shortly. They're very overt with it. They're not like hiding it. Take over the land of Israel, and then Europe is next, and then America is next to take over the free world and have Sharia law internationally. Okay, so it's not just about the piece of land. Keep that in mind. I know Israel is the fulcrum point right now, but that is really the end goal, and they're explicit about it. You can do your own research and find that out online. Okay, so let's get back here. Okay, next slide. 1967, Six-Day War broke out, and 5 Arab armies attacked Israel. Yet again, Israel successfully defended itself, gaining control of Gaza in the process. Between 1967 to 1988, people could move freely between Gaza and Israel. The first Intifada changed everything with a series of violent uprisings against and terrorist attacks against Israeli civilians. Horrific acts of violence occurred throughout the country: suicide bombings, stabbings, car rammings, and kidnappings. At the same time, in 1987, this has been verified by multiple people, multiple organizations, Hamas was established. Its terrorists initiated many of these horrors, killing innocent Israeli civilians. This forced Israel to increase security measures. After years of nonstop terror, Israel built a security fence to prevent the terrorist attacks from Gaza, and its construction was completed in 1996. So that fence, that wall everyone talks about, was to protect Israeli citizens from exactly what happened in the massacre of October 7th. Okay, that is why it was created. Now, I'm going to pause here and share the Hamas charter with you so you can see in plain ink what I just said is not made up. Okay, so this is the Hamas Covenant, aka Charter, okay, from 1988. Now, this is on Yale's uh, website. Of course, you can see this anywhere. This is not hidden information. I'm just going to jump to the second paragraph. Here we go. Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. Okay? There you go. That's the goal, the destruction of Israel. And it doesn't just stop there, it's the destruction of the Jewish people. So this is not just about land, okay? And let's go back to the slides. Yet the terrorism continued. In 2005, Israel unilaterally and fully withdrew from the Gaza Strip. The IDF oversaw the painful relocation of 9,000 Israeli citizens from Gaza in hopes that it would lead to peace. In 2006, Hamas won the Palestinian legislative election from it's called PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, and they forcefully took power in Gaza in 2007. Now, very important point, no elections have been held ever since, okay? The people of Gaza and the Palestinians there have been under Hamas rule since 2007, not from their own choosing, okay? Let's see if they're taking care of their people. Let's go ahead and go back to the slides. Okay. Yet, Gaza was still accessible from both Israel and Egypt. Despite Hamas's ongoing attacks on Israel, Israel continued to assist with the delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza through the Erez and Kerem Shalom crossings, which tens of thousands of Gazans cross every day on their way to work in Israel. Okay, so we still kept things open even with all of that. Both crossings to Israel were critically damaged after Hamas's terrorists broke through the security fence on October 7, 2023, damaging in the process 9 of the 10 electric cables from Israel to Gaza. You can see Hamas terrorists massacred 1,400 innocent Israelis and abducted more than 200, now I think we're up to 240, into Gaza, and they have fired rockets towards Israel every day since. Now, do you know how many rockets? Over 9,000. Here's an interesting point. You hear a lot about ceasefire. You hear a lot about Israeli ceasefire. Have you heard one or seen one post that said Hamas ceasefire? One post. No. Their goal is not peace. Let me be clear. Hamas's goal, I just showed you in their charter, is not peace. It's to destroy Israel. Same with Hezbollah. Okay? So, obviously, I'm very passionate about this subject, but I just want to give some more information. Now, there's been a term that's been thrown around lately that Israel is doing ethnic cleansing in Gaza, right? This is the furthest thing from the truth. Let me share some other information with you. Here we go. So I'm going to share the sound of this short video. This is a 2-minute video, and then we'll wrap this one up for today. Okay, here we go. This is a travel channel for Israel.
Cleansing is a very powerful expression. If in 1948 there were around 700,000 Palestinians and today there are 7 million in the land of Israel, you can't really use this term. However, if you want to use the words ethnic cleansing, you can do so to describe what happened to the Jews in Arab countries. In Morocco in 1948 there were 265,000 Jews. Today there are around 2,000. In Iraq there were 135,000 Jews in 1948. Today there are fewer than 10. Algeria used to be home to 140,000 Jews. Today there are fewer than 50, and I can go on. It is Muslim countries who perpetrated ethnic cleansing on the Jews.
Okay, so hopefully you got those numbers. I know it's kind of fast. He had a strong Israeli accent. Palestinians started out as a group of 700,000 people. Now it's purportedly 7 million. Okay, that is not ethnic cleansing, ladies and gentlemen. You saw all the other numbers. Okay, so I'm gonna do some more videos about this, but one last topic I want to mention. You may have, there's a lot of protests in the United States and around the world, and there's a lot of anti-Semitism, which I'll talk about in another another video. But one of the things that I've seen is this. Let me share this screen with you. Okay, I've seen this. Prayers for Palestine. Now, full transparency, I have 2 gay cousins. We lived in the Castro Valley. I have tons of gay friends. So this is definitely not going to be an anti-gay moment. However, I want to give a little clarity on what Sharia law says about being homosexual, being gay. It's punishable by death. In fact, you can go ahead and look on the internet if you're comfortable seeing that type of information. All of the homosexuals that were found in Gaza were literally rounded up and thrown off a rooftop, including there was one Hamas leader that was found to be involved in homosexual activity, and he was killed. So if you are, if when you say, free Palestine, you mean Hamas should continue to control Palestine, you're basically condemning the country to a nightmare. And basically, you're saying that if you're gay and you go to that area, you will be killed. If you are a woman and you don't cover your hair, they throw acid in their face. So Sharia law is definitely not what we want in the world. It's not what we want. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to do multiple videos because I want to get as much information out to people as I can. If you disagree with anything that I said and you have facts to refute, you're welcome to post in the comments below. I welcome any conversation. I'm also currently going to UC Berkeley, which is a very interesting time to go there. I'll have some more information about that. And one last thought I'm going to leave you with, okay? It's November the 8th. It's about 31 days since the horrible attack, a massacre happened on October 7th. People are calling for a ceasefire. Let's just spell out what that looks like. Ceasefire for Israel means the destruction of the state of Israel. Period. Ceasefire for the other countries would mean peace. That's it. But you cannot negotiate with someone that's coming to kill you, okay? To quote Golda Meir. Hamas's goal, to be clear, this is not Israel versus Palestine. This is not Israel versus the Palestinian people. This is not Israel versus the people of Gaza. This is Israel versus Hamas. So our two goals, the Israeli army's goals, the IDF goals, are to liberate the captives, meaning free all the hostages, 239, 240 as of this recording, and to destroy Hamas, because that can never happen again. Hamas has done horrible things in other countries, which I'll share later, and of course no one protested against that when that happened, in Syria and other places. But those are the goals, just so you know, okay? One last point, I know I keep saying one last thing. In terms of allowing the citizens of Gaza to escape freely, every single day at 10 o'clock, the IDF does a pause in firing, and they are protecting the citizens of Gaza to get to these humanitarian areas. Now, what has been consistently happening? Hamas has been shooting at not only the IDF during that time, but the people of Gaza. They want to use the people of Gaza as human shields. So yes, free the Palestinians from the rule of Hamas. I 100% agree. Free the Gazans from the rule of Hamas. That is what the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is trying to do. And with God's blessing, it'll happen speedily and we'll have peace in our time. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you.